if you're looking to level up your surfing, JWC has got a couple of ways to get you moving forward. I'm running in-person surf coaching sessions here in Portugal with flexible dates. So if you're traveling through or planning a trip, we can lock in a few sessions and work on exactly what your surfing needs. And thanks to our collaboration with SurfRec, the AI robotic filming system now operating in Ribeira de Ilhas and Carcavelos, you can get footage of your sessions. Just send me 5 clips and I break down every detail for you. But even if you're not in Portugal, no problem. You can send me up to 5 waves from anywhere in the world. Surf trip to Indo, comp heats, or your local surf break. Even wave pools. If you got the footage, I'm happy to analyze it. If you want to dive deeper into SurfRec, check out our Podcast Portugal episode 50 with Zé Ferreira. To book surf coaching sessions, to find out more about our immersive surf training camp schedule, online video analysis program, and special JWC rates for using SurfRec, head to justinwestcoaching.com. Direct links in the show notes. This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal. I'd like to extend a really warm welcome this evening to Band of 4. We have Lucas, Mark, Jars, and Alessandro joining us. Now, if you don't know who these guys are, well, just listen to the soundtrack of the podcast that we've been using since episode 1. And I'd firstly like to say a big thanks to the guys for supporting the podcast by allowing us to have the rights to use some of their really great music. Thanks, guys, and welcome.
Thank you, Justin. Welcome.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Thanks.
How did you guys get together and form the band? And I'll start this question to Jars.
Oh, you asked the wrong guy. I was not here since the beginning. I'm the last addition to the band. Probably Lucas, Mark, or Alessandro can actually answer better than me.
Mark.
Well, I think we started out about 2022, I'd say. I've known Lucas for a long time now. We used to share a band room together with different bands, though, about 10 years ago. And then all of a sudden during the pandemic, Lucas wrote me a message like, "Hey, Mark, you want to go and jam?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" Because I had just had a kid about 2 years earlier, and I was not looking for a band at all. But then he was there with Alessandro, and it just clicked right away. It was fun, and we started doing this more regularly. And suddenly we were looking for a singer, actually.
Okay, and Jars, you're the singer?
I am the singer, yeah. I joined when I was looking as well for. I was basically doing the naturalization to become Swiss citizen. I'm Italian, and I was, they were asking for activities you do that show that you are basically including yourself into the life of the city and the country, right? And you do activities with people locally. And I said, I need to find, a band of Swiss people that I can connect to and actually do some activities that are, that I like actually, but also that makes me socialize with locals. And then I found this, ad. We applied, and since then is love.
Great. And Lucas, how do you remember the start of the band?
It's actually a really complicated band, because I was first looking for a drummer, and I did that over an ad. So this guy, Alessandro, replied. Actually, is the first one of us, I think. But he replied, "I'm from like this other town in Switzerland. It's like 2 hours drive from Zurich." I said, like, well, how can you do that? Going to rehearse here. But somehow it worked out. And fun is like, 1 year ago, Alessandro said, hey, he's going to move. And we're all, yeah, cool. You're going to come to Zurich. It's going to be much easier. And he said, no, he's going to go to the Italian part of Switzerland, which is now 3 hours drive away from Zurich. So, yeah, seems to not get more easier with these guys. Yeah, that's how it starts.
Great story. And sort of where do you draw your influences from? Like do you all have individual bands or singers or musicians that you prefer, that you sort of take inspiration from? Who writes the songs, and how does it all work, the creative process, and what are your inspirations?
Well, hello. I go on. I think it's a part of a cooperation. I mean, while we are over there and we are playing, basically we like to jam. So we first started to jam a lot, and that's how we got connected all together. And also create every time some. It could be a loop or it could be something, which from there it comes a song, and then we try to give a structure, basically starting from all these patterns that we like, and then I mean each one of us has his own experience. He can really add something different, and also Yasha is the key player on. I mean, I love Yasha because he has a power to create the structure and find good melodies on songs, and yeah, I think that's 80% of the song, I would say.
Well, the interesting part also is that if we try to find covers to play, to say let's find a cover to play together, we are still there since, I don't know, 3 months, and we don't find it because we Alessandro proposed something saying no, this is not good for me, and Mark proposes something, say yeah, it's cool, but perhaps it's not good. We really are so diverse that we all would like to do something different. So it's really the tastes of music we have, I think, are not radically, but hard to put together into one single, cohesive point of view. But somehow
it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in the end when we do our own things, because it brings a little bit of different perspectives all the time.
Yeah, I do think we have overlap, but there's also a lot of things that one of us likes and no one else does. And also, I think it's a really complicated process in some ways, the way we write songs, because I think there's a way in which the band jams and likes to come up with ideas, but then there's also Yarsha's approach, which is much more structured and more maybe he comes more from an arrangement point of view with a lot more theoretical knowledge than the rest of us. So it's kind of a push and pull between the organic parts of the band, the organic production of creation of songs, and the way he would then perhaps more intellectually almost go ahead about rearranging the songs. And yeah, we're still actually working on finding the perfect process. And it's always interesting to expand on it. Right now, we are doing a lot online with sending back and forth ideas. And it's been productive, but yeah, we all need more time to do what we love to do. That's the one thing that's missing, time.
Yeah.
Right now, we have more concerts than rehearsals, I'd say.
Okay, that's good. And it gets your teeth into it, I guess, and it creates like a little bit of a synergy. Now, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel with your music there is something that I'm noticing throughout. In terms of sound, in terms of style or anything like that, it's not like Pink Floyd, but there is something about the operatic nature. I'm lost at the words to describe this, but your songs and your tracks, they don't sort of just repeat melodies, or have a chorus that's then repeated. Sometimes the songs, the tracks, they change speed. They go to some areas, they go to another area, they go to another area. They're like exploring a story within one song. And for me, sometimes, because I really like Pink Floyd, or some of it anyway, I kind of like that sort of dramatic storytelling, I sense that sometimes in your music. There's sort of lots of different layers going on, and paces and speeds. And would you think there was some plan to that, or am I just hearing what I'm imagining?
Well, it's not necessarily planned. I think it. I don't know. Every song I think is different how it comes out. So there is not like Mark said, we are still discovering it. We're still exploring it, and but we are all, I think, really interested into not easy music, easy listening music, right?
Mm.
So we all like to explore, let's say, and so yeah, trying to go into different realms sometimes it's just come from different pieces of arrangement that came out from some grooves, or sometimes it can be some full ideas that we need to better flesh out in rehearse, or the things come out somehow randomly. But what I personally try to put into the music then until it's final is the meaning, right? That hopefully you feel that meaning behind the structure or the message or the feeling that the song gives. That it's one thing is to execute something or having an idea, but another thing is try to convey a message, and the message is both lyric wise and musically some pretty deep, I have to say, right? Isn't we are not talking about flowers and and sun and love and whatever. It's more complex, the topics of the song, and I think they are also reflected in the way they are actually built and assembled together to convey that complex message. It goes ups and downs. Yeah.
I'm seeing that. And it's sort of what are the types of themes you guys explore, do you think, through your music?
Well, we're exploring usually social matters, right? What we see around us today, and the it's not an easy world we're living in, and it's eclectic and full of issues, and the way we see them, and the different perspectives we have on them, we put them into the songs, trying always not to be biased or unbalanced in the way we tell them. And that brings also the level of and layers of complexity of not being one-sided into the interpretation of the events of our work.
Yeah, from the instrumental perspective, I think I certainly always try to push the envelope of every song or every bass line I contribute to. I think most of us are never really content with just keeping it basic. So there's always a searching quality to what we do musically as well. Not imposing any limits on ourselves and pushing it forward and trying to find something new, even though that's almost impossible, of course.
Lucas,
I think
what is your
yes,
interpretation of that?
Well, what to say? I think we all have a kind of a different approach. I mean, for example, if you listen to the bass line, it's very interesting. So Mark is extremely creative bass player. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to say something positive about your colleagues.
Thank you,
Your bandmates, no problem. And of course, I mean, you're super great musicians, but I think I think it's one thing that makes the songs very a bit special, because the bass is always not, it's not like the regular bass line. And then of course, Yasha adds like all these little details, very intellectually, so it's really great. I think I'm rather more mainstream indie guitar, so everything adds up, and somehow it creates a cool mixture of sound which we like, and hopefully also the people that listen to our music. So yeah.
Yeah, I think about Lucas. I mean, he's for a guitar player, he's a very ego-less guitar player. So he's very much a team player. So oftentimes he's textural, I would say, which makes more space for the crazier bass parts in some cases. But it's a good mixture that really complements each other. And I think Alessandro is very much driven in his beat. I think he's always pushing the songs forward to the utmost degree whenever necessary. So I think everyone brings something to the table in the end, which
Yeah.
makes the mix hopefully.
I mean, as always, it depends also on the songs. I completely agree with Mark. Everyone puts something of also himself inside the way we are playing or the way we're singing or the things we are saying, and everything depends on the choice of the songs. For example, there are some songs, as you said before, when you were talking of this kind of never-ending loop, when you were talking of Pink Floyd. For example, in Sense of Wonder, this is exactly what we wanted to do. This kind of a never-ending loop, this song that never some kind of resolves itself instead of a couple of parts, because then it goes again into the loop. And that was exactly the idea. You can and there that's our field where to play with the dynamics, for example, or so on. And each song is different. For example, No Sound, it was exactly the opposite. So we wanted to keep it as minimal as possible, at least for me, for example. But because that was the atmosphere that we wanted to bring on the table, So yeah, I think the way we're playing together also led us to explore different directions, bringing in each direction somehow some kind of our own identity also, because you can feel that it's still the same band playing also different songs. And I think that's a good part of us.
Yeah, you guys certainly are a band of four, and it's interesting actually that when you're talking about it, I can feel like that name is super appropriate. It really does feel like that you're creative individuals, and yet you're a band of four. It makes a lot of sense to me, the name of the band. But who does the majority of the writing? Because a lot of the lyrics are really cool.
Well, the Yarsha, I think that's completely his credits, right? So, he does all the lyrics. I think they're really cool. And not the usual, love stuff thing. So, I really like that. And, well, luckily we have an English teacher who can help out if, so, made too many mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I mean, like some of the. I actually sort of slow everything down a little bit, and I stop and replay, so literally, so I can pick up on some of the lyrics and try to sort of work them out. I like writing and stuff, so I'm kind of interested in words and iambic pentameters and things like that. So I'm trying to sort of listen to the rhymes and the subjects, and I'm thinking, okay, what does that mean? When that's why I was particularly interested in sort of what your sort of the music is about on that type of level, anyway, in terms of poetry and in terms of philosophy or politics, and we are, I agree, living in completely crazy times, and but I also think that we're living in times where everything gets a little bit hyped up. We have to. I don't think as humans we're meant to. We're meant to hear 9 billion nightmares every day.
Yeah.
So and I have a great faith, in Europeans and Switzerland is European. I mean, I know you're not part of the EU, but you guys are Europeans from our standing, and so are our Nordic brothers up north, and I think I'm very confident about Europe, and I'm very confident about our history in Portugal and in everybody's sort of traveling around, meeting each other. I wouldn't have met Lucas if he didn't have connections to Portugal and Amado, and I think that's very European of us, and I like it.
Cool.
And we are kind of a little bit like, I don't know what the word is, balanced, maybe I would like to say. Generalization of Europeans, perhaps, but I think we've been through a lot in our history, and I think we have the ability to sort of sit back and weigh up the different arguments, and I think I feel that in some of your lyrics as well.
Thanks. Which is your favorite song, by the way?
The soundtrack. The soundtrack. I don't even know the name of it, actually. No, I do know the name of it. It's no, I don't know the name of it. What's the name of the soundtrack? I can't remember it.
It's HDHD.
Yeah. ADHD or HDHD?
ADHD.
Yeah, that's right.
AC/DC.
Yeah, I did know it. Yeah, that is pop. But the crazy thing is, because if you think I've been editing it now, we're on the 57th episode of Podcast Portugal, so that's at least I don't know, a couple of hours editing each episode, and then there's sort of listening back and listening in the car and things like that. So it's a song that doesn't get tiring to listen to. There is a lot of songs that I like. Jack Johnson, for example. I had a period where I listened to a lot of Jack Johnson, maybe 20 years ago, I think, but I quickly got bored of it because perhaps it didn't have those layers that you were talking about. But this track, I don't get bored of it. It's very strange. It's very catchy. Catchy,
Thanks.
but not annoying catchy, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Lucas, which is your favorite song?
I can't say. I like them all, honestly.
Which do you prefer playing? When you're playing live, which is the one you get really excited about playing?
I like the. I mean, honestly, I think there's a lot of variety in our sets. So I think we get good feedbacks. I mean, maybe it's just our friends that listen to it. They can say something else. But anyway, I like, for example, one Hello, the sound. There's like after the second chorus, there's like an extension to the chorus, which is really powerful when we play it live. I really like that. So it's a lot of energy then during on stage. That's for me a highlight, but yeah, maybe others can have different opinions what they like.
I'd actually probably agree that Hello is my favorite to play live, but there are always parts. I think there's the ending of No Sound that I really enjoy when we sort of mix up the beat a little bit, the groove a little bit. And there's always parts that I look forward to more than others. It's kind of interesting, but I wouldn't say there's one that is head and shoulders above beyond the other ones. They all have their part.
Actually, my favorite one is still not released. It's the ballad. Yep.
Great.
Which is actually now that you told us, it's super Pink Floydish. So I think you will love it. I'm also a very big Pink Floyd fan. By the way.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's one of my. I went to a friend of mine's 18th birthday party, and Dave Gilmour was literally playing at the birthday party.
No way.
Yeah. That was really crazy because apparently her dad taught him to fly or something like that, or they were family friends. It was like we were all in DJ jackets, it's kind of like a bit of a posh party. We were always in bow ties and dinner jackets, and in those days, all my friends had quite a little bit of money because the school was a little bit posh, but I didn't have very much money, so I had to borrow somebody's dinner jacket, and I didn't have any trousers, so I had to wear jeans. And then the only other guy in the whole party that was in a black jacket, a white shirt, and jeans was Dave Gilmour. So that's really, so I was really stoked.
Like a remake of The Talent of Mr. Ripley or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was
That's
really
a cool story.
There was also a band I didn't know. There was also a band there called 10cc who were friends. I'd never known of the band, but they were wild. Huh? They were really crazy. I remember them being really crazy.
That's a famous name. Yeah.
10cc. Yeah, I don't really know their music, but I just remember going, "Who are these crazy guys? You know what they were doing, what they were getting up to." And somebody told me, "Ah, yeah, they're 10cc. They're a pretty famous band." I was like, "Okay, I didn't know." I was just like, Pink Floyd for me. Yeah, you know, when you're 18, like Pink Floyd is a big deal.
Yeah.
I listened a lot to Pink Floyd.
Yeah. I'm a Sid Barrett lover. Let's put it like this.
Yeah, you're pretty much into the first part of the first wave of Pink Floyd.
Yes.
You're less Roger Waters. I must admit, I'm also a little bit less Roger Waters, I think.
Well,
no, I also like Roger Waters. I mean, Animals is a masterpiece, you know.
As a creator, Roger Waters is amazing. I think it's just as a political commentator that he should probably not talk anymore.
Yeah, it was difficult. And it's interesting, right? Because you're talking about like how you guys sort of, you observe the world as from an artistic point of view, but you don't put your foot in it. You know what I mean? Which I think also always in retrospect can be a little bit embarrassing for artists, you know, like if they go a little bit too far one way or the other. I think as artists you need to be independent and observers, and then and expressing different things, but not signing up to one form or another. If you haven't already switched to Revolut, now is the perfect time. I use Revolut Personal to manage my everyday money, spending, saving, sending across borders. You can hold over 30 currencies, transfer internationally at great rates, and even earn daily interest on your savings. It's smart, fast, and used by more than 60 million people worldwide. And if you run a business, Revolut has even more powerful solutions. Revolut Business gives you a global account built for growth, multi-currency accounts, team cards, spending controls, international transfers, and easy ways to get paid. It's streamlined, affordable, and designed to scale with your business. Here's the best part. Sign up for Revolut Personal with my link below and join me on one of the most advanced money apps available. And if you're a founder or a business owner, use my Revolut Business referral link and get your first month with no subscription fees. Whether it's for your personal finances or your business, Revolut has you covered, all in one place. I think I can hear some rain outside. We've been having completely crazy storms here in Portugal. I don't know if you guys have been aware, but we've had just absolutely crazy, like whole towns, like houses blown over, and just a nightmare. There's a town in Leda. They're creating a campaign for a funding campaign because it's just destroyed the whole town. I mean, we had crazy 160 kilometer an hour winds or something that came through.
So you guys are really unlucky.
Yeah, it hasn't let up. Like it's been, I don't remember like a day it hasn't been raining. Like I don't know, more than a month.
Before you had all these wildfires last summer, I was there, and we're covered in smoke all the time, basically. The fire breaking out everywhere around us.
Yeah, it's very strange times. I mean, I don't think Lucas will know this because I don't think I've ever seen. We had a surf forecast a couple of weeks back, and it was on the forecast. It was 6 meters and sometimes 8, some parts 8 meters and 26 seconds wave period, which is probably the biggest swell that I've ever seen that hit Portugal. Was like a 22-second wave period and maybe like 4 or 5 meters, but that forecast of 8 meters, 26 seconds, absolutely completely crazy. So I'm not surprised. And now the Mediterranean is getting it as well. Like the Mediterranean, I don't know where you guys are from originally in Italy, but Italy's had some fantastic waves. Crete has had some waves, and Some of the towns, I think it was some towns in Sicily that were
Yes.
literally washed off the cliffs.
Yeah, also, actually, we have a rough winter here in Switzerland. It's been really cold. Well, which is good for skiing, of course. So, yeah. So now it's skiing holidays in Switzerland.
Nice.
So I think it's good for all the families that go skiing now.
Yeah, it definitely has been something. I don't know whether it's like some kind of reverse El Nino that we have in the Atlantic, some reaction to El Nino in the Pacific or something. But it is very strange, noticeably strange. I'm always like, okay, the weather's this and the weather's that, but I've really noticed it this year. It's very British of me to talk about the weather.
Also, Spain, I heard, was in the same situation. Got colleagues in Spain that got same problems with wind and crazy rains, and has destroyed it. So I think overall everywhere in that area.
Yeah, I mean they're actually having to empty some. We have some things here called barrages. They like basically they slow the water down from the highlands down to the plains, down to the ocean, so that each agricultural sector and whatever sector can get some water. And they're basically lakes with a dam, and they have to open all these floodgates because it's at risk of overflowing. It's completely insane. Yeah.
Did it impact you as well? Your place?
Yeah, we have a north field that basically became part of the river. So we have a river that runs supposedly across our land, or it originally did, until the guy who built my place sort of put a tunnel and then built a field on top of it. But that tunnel never works when it gets too much water, and so then it just basically flows through the field. It's very beautiful, but yeah, it's crazy. But then within 2-3 hours, all the water is gone, But then it rains again, it all comes back. But unfortunately, we live amongst these sort of high intensive olive groves. So I think the water table has a lot of problem with nitrates and things like that. So it's not the best thing to have your land flooded, because it basically floods with nitrates and horrible chemicals from the olive groves. So guys, when's your next gig? When do you guys get together and do another? You did one this last weekend, right?
Couple of weeks.
Yeah, 2 weekends. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. I think we have another one now, end of March, right? Mid of March.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's 14th of March, guys. Don't forget.
Don't mess it up.
And how do you plan? How do you plan which song comes before the other song? Because it's sort of following along that Pink Floyd theme. They're very kind of thematic in their journey of the music. And who sort of arranges which songs and the performances?
Or I think also that one is a pretty cooperation. I mean, so usually we have a proposal from Lucas, for example, and then we might say, hey, I think this song needs to be over there, and then this other songs over there, because we want also to create a dynamic inside the concert, So maybe there's the moment when everything needs to slow down a little bit, also to enjoy it, and then also to enjoy again the dynamic that goes up.
Is it small venues, or do you have what's the sort of larger venue? Do you prefer that, or do you sort of prefer this sort of smaller, intense
Well,
venue?
the question would be whether we would prefer that, which is probably true. It would be nice to have some more larger venues come up, because we've all had experience playing those. Now, right now, I mean, we'd like a decent sized stage. We've been on a few that weren't that big, although the crowds were somewhat comparable. Some of the stages were really tiny. But that's not as pleasant, because you can't really move around much, and whenever you move your instrument, you're going to hit someone or something. So at least having a decent size stage is usually nice. But we're not that picky, actually. We'll play anywhere where people are into listening to live music. That's the reward, basically.
Yeah. And how do
people are there?
Sorry, Alessandro, you cut out a little bit then. What did you say?
I wasn't talking, but I completely agree with Mark.
And how does a venue get in touch with you guys? And because I know you can, because Lucas's daughter was showing me how to download the tracks, because they're available on Apple Music. So That's all good. Yeah, so you guys can out there, the audience, if you want to listen to some more of Band of Four, you should check them out on Apple Music. You guys on Spotify as well? Yeah, and Spotify. Yeah. That's great. And you guys have a link tree, and you also have a really cool. That's another thing I was going to mention. I really like the graphics and the art, the cover art. Who does all your cover art and stuff? That's really cool stuff. Cool things that you put on Instagram. The artwork.
Yeah, that's Alessandro's girlfriend.
Okay.
I think, right, Alessandro? She did this iconic, single designs. So I also like them. The relationship.
No,
flash.
Yeah. My sister, actually. My sister.
Oh, your sister.
Yeah.
Oops.
It started out with the first idea by Alessandro himself, right? With the muffin, the cupcake for ADHD, and then I was really into it more than Alessandro actually, and I wanted to keep doing the same concept of having the white background and a single item, and then we've basically always looked at the lyrics and decided which item or which object it was going to be, and then looked at potential colors. And maybe, I don't know if there's going to be more of those. I'd still be in favor, but I don't think we can hash this out on air now.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to cut those.
Yeah. No, I like the theme, so keep along that. It really stands out, those graphics. I really appreciate them. They're really cool. So, like listeners and audience, you can follow the guys, Band of Four on Instagram. Is band... Who wants to read out the Instagram tagline? Because I'm always getting confused because I don't know whether it's the letters spelling out 4, FOUR, or whether it's just the number 4.
That is actually good.
Let me check. Check
on Instagram. It's one word. It's It's only letters and no numbers. It's band of 4. Just spell out the way it's written.
Perfect.
Then you'll definitely find us. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. And on there, you guys sort of announce venues and where you're going to be playing, and if venues want to get in touch with you, they can probably best get in touch with you through Instagram.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we would love to come and have a gig in Portugal. That would be, or maybe
I think so.
Gigs. That would be really cool. So we haven't targeted this region.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of places that you guys should try target down in the Algarve in the summer times. That for sure around there. There's lots of really cool bars and clubs and smaller places, but more intimate. Yeah, I think so. We have to think about that because there's quite a few people I know that sort of organize that kind of stuff. So, we have to think.
So because we've been this year we played for us quite a few gigs, so that was really cool. So we're gonna play one more, as I said, or as we said on the 14th March. But then I think we need some, go back to the rehearsal room and create some more songs.
Yeah.
So because it feels like after a while, get almost. Even we like the set, but we need some new inspiration, new stuff to play. So that's actually the goal, and maybe it would be really cool to have some festivals in summer, maybe 1 or 2. So that's maybe a target.
Nice. Yeah. There's a couple. There's a really cool one in Sinj, in Alentejo. You should have a look at that. They
right.
Give a nice. That would be cool. Yeah. So you hear it, guys. Audience, check them out. I really appreciate their music, and I think you will too. And I appreciate your guys' time. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Good opportunity.
Really cool chat. Great. I'll speak to you guys very soon.
Okay.
This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal. Thanking the guys of Band of Four.
Start 365 per year, living on around in a muffin shop. Call it a need to concentrate, I need to concentrate. Stop this train of thoughts, or I will be questioning.
Planning a trip to Portugal? Whether you're exploring Lisbon, surfing in Ericeira, or road tripping through the Alentejo, staying connected is essential. I use Airalo every time I travel. even on some surfboat trips, adventures to the Maldives. So when we connected to collaborate, I was really genuinely happy. Aerolo's eSIMs give you instant data the moment you land in a foreign country. No queues, no physical SIM cards, just seamless, reliable coverage. Travel smarter, stay connected, download Aerolo before your next adventure. Follow this link in the show notes to get connected today.
It's keeping me from